In our seventh stop in this Summer in the Psalms devotional journey, I want to back up today to Psalm 48. Now, there's some debate among expositors as to the who and the when of this psalm. Some say it was written during the days of Jehoshaphat. Others place it in another time frame. I tend to lean toward the camp that places it during the days of Hezekiah and the invasion of Sennacherib and his ultimate defeat. I think it's a companion psalm to 46 and 47. Now, whether it was written by Hezekiah or one of the priests, it is all about the peace and protection of Jerusalem. And it seems to have been written by an eyewitness to the account. Now, the thing that thrills me is that it is filled with prophetic undertones about another day when another great king will lead the armies of the world against Jerusalem, only to find out that the King of Kings still reigns supreme. In our time together this week, I want to blend both of those concepts together and throw in maybe a touch of the allegorical picture of heaven and the New Jerusalem that it portrays, and remind us that this story, this song, is not as much about the protected city as it is the God who protects it. So let's get started today. Number one, the first thing the psalmist reminds us about the city of the great king, the city of God, is that his presence is glorious. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. In the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness, beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king, God is known in her palaces for a refuge. I want you to notice that phrase, in the city of the great king. I don't think the psalmist chose those words by accident. It's partly what makes me believe that this was written during Hezekiah's day, because Sennacherib at that time had styled himself the great king, and it was something that the psalmist could not overlook. The psalmist said there's only one great king, and he dwells among us. So he opens this psalm with God's acclamation and praise. Great is the Lord. What a statement. It's really one with which we must face every trial that comes our way. When our enemies encamp against us, we need to start it with great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. We know we have a great God today. But does our praise align itself with our estimation of the greatness of our God? If our God is so great, then why is our praise so tepid? He sings of God's astonishing presence. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised in the city of our God. This is God's place. We live in God's city. We worship at God's house. And if anybody ought to be praising God, it should be us. And then he sings about God's absolute perfection. Great is the Lord, greatly to be praised in the city of our God, in the mountain of his holiness. This psalm is full of sermons. Here's another one. When's the last time we sang about God's holiness? We've allowed the world to give us a bitter taste of holiness, but holiness is beautiful. God is absolutely holy. He sings of God's almighty power, beautiful for situation. The joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion. On the sides of the north, the city of the great king. Here it is again. God's assured protection. God is known in her palaces for a refuge. Again, it's a direct tie back to Psalm 46. In the first stanza of the psalm, we're reminded that in the city of God, his presence is glorious. And in the second stanza, he lets us know that his power is guarding it. God is in this city. His presence is in this city. So therefore, it is surrounded by his power. Verse 4. For lo, the kings were assembled. They passed by together. They saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and hasted away. Fear took hold upon them, and pain as of a woman in travail. Thou breakest the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. This is thrown directly in the face of the enemies of God. They assembled. That's, again, I believe it's Sennacherib's army. They assembled against the people of God. A host is encamped against us. But when they got there, they assessed God's power and God's protection. This is not going to be as easy as they thought. And there's a host encamped against us right now. But I can guarantee you the enemy's taking stock that God is in us and God is around us, and it's not going to be as easy as he thought it was. They assembled against God's people. They assessed God's power, and then they abandoned their plans. I love this picture. They thought they could, but they never got the job done. And the enemy has come out against us in force, but he hasn't got the job done yet. And he's not going to. I love verse 8. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of the Lord of hosts. As we have heard, so have we seen. Every story we've heard about God's glory, every story we've heard about God's power, we've seen it now in the city of our God. God will establish it forever, Selah. Hearsay has become experience. We've heard about God's protection. We've heard about God's provision, but we've seen it. And God is even better than what we've heard. Every generation needs to get its own vision. And sadly, you only get that on that vision or get that experience by going through it. And when you've gone through it, we can go back and testify. Thank God for what Dad told me about God. Thank God for what Grandpa told me about God. But what I have seen about God is even better than what I've been told. I need to keep moving. What a city. What a God. His presence is glorious. His power is guarding. And therefore his people are glad. Look at verse 9. We have thought of thy loving kindness, O God. Thy loving kindness, O God. Thy loving kindness, O God. In the midst of thy temple, according to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Thy right hand is full of righteousness. Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments. 3 admonitions here for us. Number 1, remember God's nurturing. We have thought of thy loving kindness. Stop today and think about the nurture of God throughout your life. And then radiate God's name. According to thy name, O God, so is thy praise unto the ends of the earth. Let it go. Let it flow. And then rejoice in God's nature. Let me wrap up today with a reminder that his promises are generational. Verse 12. Walk about Zion, go round about her, tell the towers thereof, mark ye well her bulwarks, consider her palaces, that ye may tell it to the generation following. For this God is our God forever and ever. He will be our guide even unto death. 3 directions in the closing of the psalm. Survey the city. Walk about it. Go around it. Look at it. Examine it. Experience it. Get the dimensions of it. That's what Paul said, that you may know the height and the breadth and the depth and the peace of God that passes understanding, the love of God that is beyond exploration. Walk about it, chart it, and survey it, and then share the story with another generation. Let me tell you what I've experienced, that we may encourage new explorers into the city of our God, and then we rest in the security of our Savior. For this God is our God. The God that did all of this is our God, and he will be our guide even unto death. What a psalm. What a Savior. God bless you this week.